The American people are freaking out, and rightfully so. Many people have seen their stock portfolios completely plummet. We've seen Bitcoin alone is down over $7,000 in one day. They've lost almost $20,000 from their peak to where they're at now, which is about $50,000 per Bitcoin. People are freaking out, but why? Well, is it because Iran and Israel are most likely headed towards a war? No. Is it because people are worried that the U.S. is going to potentially dip into a recession? Well, yes and no. The real reason is because of what Japan has been doing. Today, I'm going to do my best to explain exactly what Japan just did and why they are crashing global markets. So, I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So first, before I jump into what Japan did, and again, I'm going to do my best, but it's called the carry trade. I'm going to explain this, but I want to show you what's going on this morning. Look at this. It says Wall Street's fear gauge, the VIX, rises to the highest since the pandemic market plunge in 2020. It says this is the highest the VIX has been since April 2nd, 2024, shortly after the Federal Reserve's emergency action during the COVID pandemic. Said the VIX rose as high as 85.47 in March of 2020. Okay. Now, that's not it though. Look at this one. Bitcoin drops below 50,000 for the first time since February. Look at this. It says Bitcoin dipped to $49,111.10 at one point, its lowest level and first time under 50,000 since February, after trading close to $70,000 just a week ago. You know why people are freaking out? Because many people are saying Bitcoin's going to the moon. It's going to reach 100,000. It's just a matter of time. Well, if you bought at $70,000 and now you're sitting at $49,111, well, I'm sorry. Okay, that's an investment. I believe it will go up eventually, but might be a little while. But here's why this is a concern. Because people were using their portfolios as a savings account, as their emergency fund. Guess what? No more. Look at this. It says Dow futures drop 900 points. NASDAQ 100 futures lose 5% as global market rout picks up steam. Here's the issue. These markets are selling off. Okay? But why? Well, in many cases, people are getting margin called. Now, you need to understand what margin is. Margin, and if you buy in the United States, you buy using Robinhood or Webull or many other platforms, you can use something called margin, where it's pretty much credit. Okay? So let's say I have $5,000 and I want $5,000 in margin. So that gives me $10,000 in buying power. Great. It's great if the markets keep going up, but when the markets drop, suddenly you get margin called because now that broker wants their money. You don't have enough money, you don't have enough leverage. And so they do something called a margin call, where now you have to go sell all your assets to pay them back, and you actually might have to put more money into that broker. Money you may not have. So again, this is where things get interesting. But this is where it's called a carry trade. This is why Japan, just the past couple of days, have crashed markets. Look at this. It says carry trade route extends as peso and Aussie sink and the yen jumps. Well, how much has the yen jumped? And then I want to explain what the carry trade is. Look at this. This is the United States dollar. Okay? It takes 0.007 US dollars to have 1 Japanese yen. Okay. If we look at this chart, this is for let's just go 1 month, okay? This is what it is. So back on Friday, July 5th, that was a month ago, it took 0.0062 US dollars to get 1 Japanese yen. The problem is today it's gone up over 10%, okay? Really over the past month, okay? Because you look at, or over the past couple weeks, down at 0.0063, then it started to jump, okay? Now, here we are. Here's the concern, is that the carry trade. Now, this is why one expert, okay, says the end of the carry trade, how Japan's yen could be ripping through U.S. stocks. According to one financial expert, they say this is the key driver of global markets, is the yen exchange rate. Here's why. So here's what's happening. Okay, I want to try to explain this the best that I can. So what has happened over the past several years is in Japan, we have seen a lot of deflation. Okay, Japan just, 2 weeks ago, decided to raise rates. Okay, now this is something that Japan hasn't been doing. They've been cutting rates. Okay, so what's been happening is the United States is going one direction, and Japan is going a completely different direction. Well, now there's a bigger spread. But think about this. So in Japan, it was very easy to go and get a loan. Let's say you can go and borrow it. I don't know what it was, 1.75%, whatever it is, to get a loan. Let's say you're getting $10,000. You can go and get $10,000 in Japan, and you're only paying, say, 1.5%. Then you take that $10,000 and you bring it over here to the United States, and you buy something like, you can buy treasuries, whatever you want, but most people were buying, stocks. Let's say like Nvidia, Tesla, right? Those are some bigger ones, right? You buy, let's say, Apple or Amazon. Well, let's just go look at some of their stocks as well. Hey, just to give you an idea, okay? So if I look at the Amazon stock, here it is, right here. So this is Amazon stock today. Now, keep in mind, I'm shooting this video, it's 5 a.m., okay? So the stock market technically isn't open. But look at this. This is what, Friday? It's close, pre-market down, okay, there it is, 155. This is pre-market. So if you were borrowing from Japan and you're only paying 1.5%, and you put that into Amazon, over the past, let's go 1 year, look at this, okay? Let's say you've been borrowing and you're up 18%, right? You're doing well because you borrowed at 1.5, but you just made 18% on your money. That's great. That's really good here. But here's the concern. What if you did it 6 months ago? Now you're getting closer, okay? Remember I told you, though, that gap is that's where you're trying to trade. You're trying to trade that gap. Well, look at this. In the past month, Amazon's down 16%. That's a problem. Past 5 days, okay? Amazon's down 8.64%. That's just Amazon, okay? What if we did Tesla? I'm going to show you the Tesla stock, okay? And you can tell me what you think. So here it is. Let's just go past year. Tesla's down. 5 years. Oh, we're looking good. Tesla's looking really good over 5 years. But over the past year, not so much, down 17%. Over the past 6 months, we're actually up 14.7%. Past month, we're down 7%. Pre-market, we're down 9.3% today, just from the weekend. This is why Japan is crashing the market, because the yen is going up. So now it's getting more expensive to borrow in Japan. But in the United States, If you invested into, let's say, bonds, you'd be fine. But if you invested into like the Mag 7, right? You invest into Meta, Google, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, right? Nvidia. You invest into some of these that are dropping. That's the concern. And why are they dropping? Well, they're dropping, number one, because of recession fears. Number two, there's a good chance the Federal Reserve waited too long to lower interest rates, decided to cut. That's a problem. But the big concern, people are now getting margin called. I know this because a friend of mine just sent me a message this morning at about 4:40. Okay? Keep in mind, I'm shooting this video, it's 5 a.m. At about 4:40, just a little bit ago, he sent me a message. He got margin called for a pretty good amount. So, I don't know exactly what's going to happen over the next handful of days. Some people are calling this Black Monday. Some people are saying that this was an event that many people have been saying was coming. But keep in mind, this whole sell-off, a lot of it has to do with what Japan just did. We still haven't really factored in what is going to happen between Iran and Israel. We don't know if the United States is going to step in. We've heard from Senator Lindsey Graham, and he proposed a bill to put troops on the ground in Israel to fight, to make sure that Iran does not attack. So, all I can tell you right now, this could be the beginning of a complete market sell-off, a massive correction. It could also be a very big opportunity. So, I will keep you up to date on what's going on. As of right now, that is what we know. So again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Also, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.